Imagine this. You wake up in the middle of winter. You turn the heat on. Nothing happens. Your phone battery drains faster. Your electricity bill triples. Your office announces temporary restructuring. The Autobahn still runs smoothly, but the silence in German factories is louder than any engine ever made. Germany, the world's industrial perfectionist, is quietly falling apart. And the scariest part? You're not watching the collapse of an economy. You're watching the collapse of a myth. Germany isn't running out of money. Germany is running out of energy, people, and time, the three ingredients no bailout can buy. The country that once powered Europe now can't even power itself. And the global system built around Germany is shaking with it. Because when Germany catches a cold, the rest of Europe ends up in the ICU. The untouchable giant that forgot it was mortal. For decades, Germany was the closest thing the modern world had to an economic cheat code. Ultra-skilled workers, world-dominating engineering, cheap Russian gas, a booming export machine, and an aging population that refused to retire. Germany didn't just manufacture cars, it manufactured stability. Made in Germany wasn't a label, it was a religion. But religions die when the world stops believing, and Germany's followers, industry, energy, demographics, global markets, are abandoning it one by one. 1. The energy trap. The day the gas stopped flowing. Germany built its entire industrial power on one assumption. Russian gas will always be cheap. It wasn't just fuel. It was the invisible subsidy powering chemical plants, steel factories, auto giants, glass production, plastics, pharmaceuticals, heating for millions. But when the pipes went dry, Germany didn't just lose gas. It lost the foundation of its economic identity. BASF, Germany's chemical titan, once consumed more energy than all of Denmark. Now it's shutting down plants, moving production to China, and warning, if energy stays this expensive, Germany will deindustrialize. That word, deindustrialize, should terrify you. It's the modern version of a heart-stopping. Factories don't just close, they don't come back. Because once energy becomes unreliable, companies don't negotiate, they leave. Germany didn't lose its energy, it lost its economic oxygen. 2. The auto industry, the crown jewel that forgot to evolve. Germany's pride wasn't its GDP, it was its cars. BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen. The entire nation is engineered around automobiles. 800,000 direct jobs, millions of indirect ones, export backbone, cultural identity. But Germany has a problem. It perfected the combustion engine just as the world decided to bury it. While Germany was polishing pistons, China was building batteries. While Germany debated EV regulations, Tesla built gigafactories. While Germany protected its legacy, BYD devoured global market share. The result? Cars are becoming computers, and Germany is becoming Nokia. Germany isn't losing a market, it's losing its superpower. The country that built the world's best engines now finds itself trapped in a world that no longer wants engines. 3. The demographic collapse, the silent killer. Energy crisis loud. Auto crisis dramatic. But demographics? That's the quiet apocalypse. Germany is running out of people, fast. Low birth rates, an aging workforce, fewer taxpayers, soaring pension obligations, one retiree per worker incoming. In 1970, 6 workers supported one retiree. Soon, it will be 1-to-1. No economy survives that math. Germany tried to fix it with immigration, but immigration without integration becomes friction, not fuel. Germany doesn't have enough young people to power its economy, and doesn't know how to fully integrate the new ones. This isn't a crisis, it's a countdown. Germany isn't aging, Germany is evaporating. 4. China, the partner that became a parasite. For years, China was Germany's golden market. Cheap production, huge demand, predictable growth. Germany depended on China for manufacturing, rare earths, growth of luxury auto brands, chemical industry exports. But dependency becomes danger the moment leverage shifts. And China no longer needs Germany, it competes with it. China now dominates EVs, controls battery supply chains, outpaces chemical production, undercuts German manufacturing costs, targets Germany's core export markets. Germany built factories in China. China built industries to replace Germany. Germany didn't just outsource production to China, it outsourced its future competitor. 5. The shock no one talks about. The decline in competence. Germany's old superpower was execution. If Japan perfected discipline and America mastered innovation, Germany mastered precision. But years of bureaucracy, slow adaptation, over-regulation, and risk aversion have created a system where new infrastructure takes 10+ years. Digitalization is embarrassingly behind. Airports fail to open. Rail systems face constant delay. Innovation pipelines slow. Engineering talent erodes. This isn't incompetence, it's decay. A nation optimized for the old world collapsing under the weight of the new. Germany's biggest problem isn't losing power, it's refusing to believe it already has. 6. Europe's fragile giant. When Germany falls, others break first. Europe was engineered around the assumption that Germany always produces, always exports, always funds, always stabilizes. But if Germany becomes a net importer of energy, talent, and capital, the entire European system shakes. Countries like Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Austria built industries that depend on German factories. Southern Europe depends on German bailout funds. Eastern Europe depends on German demand. The EU depends on German leadership. If Germany shrinks, Europe fractures. Germany's collapse isn't a single failure, it's a chain reaction, and the next links are far darker than anyone expects. Because the final stage of an economic collapse is not financial, it is psychological, and Germany is about to face the one crisis it cannot engineer its way out of. 7. The psychological collapse, when a nation loses its confidence. Economies don't collapse when numbers go down, they collapse when belief does. Germany's true engine was never its factories, it was its self-confidence, the quiet certainty that we build the best. We innovate with precision. We solve problems rationally. We do not panic. But the new Germany? It's starting to flinch. When the government warns citizens to shower less, when factories announce closures weekly, when natural gas shortages force rationing, when the middle class realizes their savings don't save them, a psychological shift begins. A nation engineered for stability discovers what it feels like to wobble, and wobbling nations don't invest, they retreat. This is the most dangerous collapse of all, the collapse that happens inside people's minds. When Germany stopped believing in its future, the world stopped believing in Germany. 8. The infrastructure crisis, a superpower running on old wires. Germany's image is glossy, its infrastructure is not. Behind the curtain. Trains delayed daily, airports dysfunctional, Berlin BER took 14 years. Digitalization ranked below countries with a fraction of Germany's GDP. Schools underfunded, roads crumbling, broadband slower than Romania. This isn't what a first world powerhouse looks like. This is what a once great machine looks like when oil stops flowing. Germany perfected the 20th century, but it forgot to build the 21st. The global economy moved to software. Germany stayed in hardware. The world moved to AI. Germany debated fax machines. The world moved to speed. Germany moved to committees. And the cruel twist? A modern economy collapses not because it lacks resources, but because it lacks responsiveness. Germany responds too slowly for a world moving too fast. 9. The hidden threat, capital flight. Money has no loyalty. It only has memory. And investors remember. High energy prices, slow bureaucracy, uncertain regulation, rising labor costs, weak innovation incentives, declining competitiveness. Billions in capital are leaving Germany for the US, cheap energy plus subsidies, China, scale plus speed, Eastern Europe, lower costs, Southeast Asia, growth markets. When capital leaves an economy, jobs follow. When jobs leave, talent leaves. When talent leaves, the economy doesn't decline, it hollows out. This is Germany's silent hemorrhage. Germany isn't being beaten by competitors, it's being abandoned by its own future. 10. The deindustrialization spiral. Deindustrialization isn't a metaphor, it's a chain reaction. 1. Energy becomes expensive. 2. Factories close. 3. Workers lose jobs. 4. Talent emigrates. 5. Investment dries up. 6. Innovation slows. 7. GDP shrinks. 8. Welfare costs rise. 9. Taxes rise. 10. More companies leave. And then the spiral feeds itself. Germany spent 70 years building this industrial miracle. It took 2 years of energy chaos to expose how fragile it truly was. And here's the twist. Germany isn't collapsing because something went wrong. Germany is collapsing because everything went right for too long. Abundance made Germany comfortable. Comfort made Germany slow. Slowness made Germany vulnerable. Vulnerability made collapse inevitable. 11. The European fallout. A crisis bigger than Germany. Germany isn't collapsing alone. It is pulling Europe down with it. Countries like Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, Austria depend on German automotive and manufacturing demand. When German factories slow down, their factories die. Southern Europe, Italy, Greece, Spain, Portugal depend on German bailout capacity. If Germany shrinks, the European Union loses its engine, its stabilizer, its banker. The question isn't, will Germany collapse? The real question is, if Germany collapses, who is strong enough to carry Europe? Europe was not built around equality, it was built around dependence, and the center of that system, the German core, is cracking. Europe isn't witnessing a German recession. Europe is witnessing the end of its economic gravity. 12. The US and China, the new owners of Germany's future. While Germany struggles, two powers smile quietly. China's victory. Germany's auto industry is now dependent on Chinese EV battery supply, Chinese minerals, Chinese market demand, Chinese cost structures. Germany entered China to sell cars. China entered Germany to learn how to build them, then learn to build them better. The US victory. The US now offers cheaper energy, massive subsidies, IRA, faster permitting, more flexible labor markets. German companies like BASF, BMW, Siemens, Volkswagen are shifting production to American soil. China is capturing Germany's future industries. The US is capturing Germany's present ones. Germany is being carved up by superpowers without a single shot fired. 13. The cultural trap. A nation afraid to change. Germany's economy isn't collapsing because Germans aren't smart. It's collapsing because Germans are careful. Too careful. Too careful to build nuclear energy. Too careful to deregulate. Too careful to innovate aggressively. Too careful to digitize. Too careful to offend industry giants. Too careful to take risks. Caution built Germany. Caution is breaking it. Because in a world that moves at the speed of disruption, caution is just another word for falling behind. 14. Back to the coal department. Do you remember the coal department from the beginning? The heating that didn't turn on, the silence in the factories, the rising electricity bills? That wasn't a hypothetical. That's Germany's future if nothing changes. Because an economy doesn't collapse when the lights go out. It collapses when the people realize the lights may not come back on. 15. Final truth. Germany can recover, but it won't be Germany anymore. Germany will survive, but not the Germany you know, not the flawless engineer of Europe, not the unstoppable export giant, not the quiet, confident machine. A new Germany will emerge, smaller, slower, more cautious, less central. The era of the German economic miracle is not pausing, it is ending. And the world that depended on Germany, it must now find a new anchor. Germany didn't collapse because it was weak. Germany collapsed because the world changed, and Germany refused to change with it. If this can happen to Germany, the world's most disciplined economy, what makes any nation safe?